South Australia, but they call all sorts of things over there. One other subject for the afternoon is this Redbridge survey reported in the Herald Sun, done for the Herald Sun today, around how many Victorians want to keep local councils. A majority of Victorians in this survey said it is time to get rid of councils. 44.9% say local councils should be abolished. 44.6% say yes, 36.9% say no, and around 18% undecided. What do you reckon? Time to scrap the local councils, or do you like them? Do they have a really important place in your life? 133 693. On the line is a councillor for the City of Monash, Theo Zagrafis. Theo, thanks for your time this afternoon.
Hello, Heidi. I can confirm I'm not wearing my earrings at the moment.
Great.
But I am eating a beautiful potato cake from Oakley Fish and Chips.
Potato scallop. Scallop, we call them now. That's Macca's has made the ruling. Victoria's lost that war, Theo.
Yeah, well, there's always another battle, another day.
The other battle. Are you a yes vote, no vote, and unsure vote on should local councils be abolished?
Well, look, Heidi, for me, there are two questions here. The first one is Australia overgoverned? And if the answer is no, then we all go home for the day. But if the answer is yes, then the second question for me is what level do we get rid of? So my argument is that the states, well, you need a referendum for that, and they don't pass too often. The capital city that 6 countries effectively share in Canberra is too big, and there are too many vested interests there, so that's not going to be going anywhere soon in my lifetime. So there needs to be local government, and there's no referendum required. There's enormous duplication. And it needs to be a conversation, and we really need to be looking at this a little bit closer than what's been the case in previous years.
That was a lot of words, Theo. Are you a yes vote, keep the councils, yes, abolish the councils, no, keep them, or unsure if we should?
I'm a yes, but we need to have the right model. I'm not saying do it tomorrow. I'm saying let's look at the level of government in this country and how there's duplication. Then after that, look at how you would merge them, how you'd abolish them, which services would be responsible for which level of government. Would you have an authority that runs libraries in Victoria? Would you have an authority that builds new sporting pavilions? Because for me, and I haven't come to this decision, overnight, Heidi. It's been 10 years of being in the room, making decisions about projects and seeing that they're already inflated from the outset with the cost of building a new pavilion, and then you have budget blowouts year on year. So there is a significant issue, and we've got a $1 trillion debt in this country, Heidi. So we need to be having these discussions, and I think it's too easy to just fob this off. We need to really be talking about these matters.
Quite a number of people in this Redbridge survey said that councils have got the wrong priorities, which probably feeds into the vote for abolishing. Do you believe some councils have the wrong priorities, and what do you do about adjusting those so that they're more in keeping with, say, community expectation?
Yeah, look, whilst councils exist, a lot of them do have the wrong priorities. And look, I'm not going to talk about too much other councils. I'm responsible for my own council. But when I look at councillors getting into local government because they want to talk about the most recent social issue rather than, balancing the budget or building the new pavilion that is needed by the local sporting club, I really shake my head because really, as someone said earlier, I think it was on your program, you need to get the basics right first. I have no issue with councillors being advocates because at the end of the day, they are accountable at the ballot box. But we need to have more scrutiny of decisions, no doubt about that.
And you're right. You are all right with saying abolish councils, even though it would mean you out of a job.
Yeah, look, I don't think most councillors get into elected office to care about themselves. They care about their residents. And for me, it's all about the people I represent and the outcomes for them. So I've been in local government 10 years now, so it's not something that I see myself doing forever. I think let's have the discussion first. It will take years for these type of things to really be scrutinised. And the next elections for me are 2 years, so I've still got some time to enjoy the role.
All right. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Theo Zagrafis there, Monash councillor.
21 degrees in Melbourne, sunny tomorrow, a top of 32. It's 5 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Tardio. Premier Daniel Andrews says Victorian taxpayers should not be paying for Medicare's failures. The Premier will push to have the system repaired by the end of the year and make it the number one priority for National Cabinet. Victoria's virtual emergency department service, set up to take pressure off overloaded hospitals, is to be expanded further, having already assessed more than 85,000 patients since it was launched in 2020. But the Premier says it shouldn't need to be expanded.
It's not the job of Victorian taxpayers to pay for Medicare. They pay a Medicare levy already. The notion that further money has to be invested to deal with deficiencies, problems, the fact that I think Medicare is broken, we're happy to do that now. We're not complaining, but how sustainable is it to be the Victorian government and the federal government? Like, you can't do both.
Emergency services are on the scene of a horror crash at Frankston. It's understood a Land Rover has struck a pole at high speed in Franciscan Avenue around 4:45. Rescuers are trying to free the driver. A former police chief commissioner has weighed into the force's earring debate, which has blocked an officer's promotion. Dennis O'Kane reports.
Leading senior constable Sally Fairweather, who saved 3 people from drowning at Pikes Creek Reservoir last year, left her superiors angry when she wore earrings during media interviews. She was counsel at the time. Shadow Police Minister and a former officer himself, Brad Batten, says the force has got its priorities all wrong.
Victoria Police need to concentrate on things like getting our thugs off the street, stopping violence and preventing crime.
Christine Nixon, who ran the force from 2001 to 2009, says she can understand the police earring ruling for safety reasons on the job, but not for media interviews.
To then have that maybe affect someone's promotion, I'm a bit surprised at that.
In Melbourne, Dennis O'Kane, 9 News.
New polling has found a large number of Victorians believe local councils should be scrapped. The survey found about 45% of respondents answered yes when asked if they thought councils should be dumped. 57% support amalgamations. Monash City Councillor Theo Sagrafis says he believes local councils should remain, but some changes could be made.
Let's look at the level of government in this country and how there's duplication. Then after that, look at how you would merge them, how you'd abolish them, which services would be responsible for which level of government. Would you have an authority that runs libraries in Victoria?
The Prime Minister says an Indigenous voice